Good afternoon. Whoops. Sorry, I had one monitor on there I didn't think I had on. Okay, 12/16, July 23rd, midday review. We're going to take a look at some of the standards that we follow, and then we're going to start cycling through the 100 swing trading equities that we cover, our swing trading platform. So basically, trading platform works is we have 5 main reports that we send out over a 5-week cycle. So one of the reports goes out per week, and each time we send out the report each week, we split it into 2 reports. All 5 of those reports represent about 100 different equities at any given time. So what I'm going to do this week, because of earnings and because we want to get positioned in the markets for our next phase, if you want to call it that, and our last one was fantastic. The report's coming out by the end of this week at the latest. In a new trading phase, I'm going to call it a phase because it's not a quarter, it's at market inflections. Last one was fantastic. The report's coming out, and anybody that has access to the swing trading alert feed will have an idea of how that went. We see the next inflection turning now. So in preparation for that, I've got to get all my charts ready and alarmed for our own trading. And so I thought, well, I may as well go through all 100 of them this week, day-ish, and then our swing trading members will know exactly what we're doing when we're alerting and that kind of thing. So that's in lieu of the regular weekly swing trading report. You know, intraday, I'm watching oil right now on a big dump. There was some news that came out from Iran, and I'm just watching for a possible turn in a trade here on oil. Okay, so we're going to dig into, before we get into the swing trading charts, so this is going to go fairly slowly, done in an hour, so we'll call the target at 1:15 p.m. The video end report will go out tonight. If you can't hear me for some reason, please let me know. Okay, so the S&P right now is over a pivot. Its pivot or support, main support is 27860-ish. It's trading 27999. Its upside reading, well, call it 281 area, and its downside support is in the 276.17. This is a 60-minute chart. It's one of the models that we used. Up over 2 long for me and under 276 it's a short, and under that 200 MA that's just underneath, but that's probably where it would meet anyway. So we're just watching to see if oil's going to repair itself here. I suspect that the S&P will turn down here too. Okay, so let's get out of the S&P for now. As far as targets are concerned on the S&P, the upside was there at 28380, the 24th, 9 a.m. Downside and moderate was in the 27860 range. So see how it goes. I got it well armed to the upside and the downside. I'd like to see a trade either way. I suspect it's going to be down, but we'll see how oil performs here. Volatility. So this is a weekly chart. If you look at the Stoch RSI MACD really close, the MACD is starting its bottoming and starting a pinch. Stoch RSI is starting to pinch up. Time cycle's ending this week, so there's a possible inflection on the other side of it. For sure, the nation. But this one right now definitely has a possible upside on the other side of it. So we'll see how that works out. If I had to guess, we're going to see a pop. I don't know how high, but I would expect to see a fairly significant pop. And I hate to predict 52s, 53s, but the chart is saying it's very possible. 31.4 is your main resistance if it does get extreme, and your most immediate resistance sits in the 19.4, 20, may as well call it 20 area. So right now, life is possible, and I wouldn't be surprised at minimum if it sees 20 on and about October 8th, pinches back down for December 24th, and then takes off from there. So we'll see. That's volatility. The dollar. So I've had a number of questions about the dollar lately. The dollar is up over a couple structures that we said to watch. The most recent one was right in here around 95.39. It did pop up into 95.63 and then came off. But this downtrending blue is your structure it's in. The structure was this red downtrending red line, and it bounced off it and got right up to the next. Anyway, the point is, if it gets over that blue line, right now it's testing the 20 MA on the daily, which is a serious test. Over that 20 MA, your next big test is going to be this mid quad at 95.60. There's an up channel trend line, this dotted gray line. That's your upside channel. Now this has been here for over 16 months. We've had this model built out. Anyway, this is your next structure. Oh, so over the blue, if it holds over the blue, it gets momentum. This is your next upside resistance. You'll probably come in, and on the last video I pulled this over here because you'll probably come in here, 96.76 on or about September 14th. That's if it gets over that baby blue resistance line here. And it's bullish, so it probably will. Oil's starting to show signs of an intraday bounce. So the MACD on the 1 is turned up. The squeeze momentum starting to turn up. Stoch RSI. So bets are being laid here to the upside on the long. We'll see how it plays. A lot of pressure there in oil. Okay, so earnings, Google's reporting, and it's got into its target area a little bit late here, but its target area on the model was 1210.85. It's trading 1208.97. A high today right in that target area. If you're going to sit long, is 1256.83 to 12, call it 1261.50. So, you know, the 1261 area, that's your first resistance. Your next resistance is going to be in the 1284.53. There is a downtrending quad wall here that you got to watch, and then your main resistance or main target up to the next is in the 1320 area. That's a heavy duty resistance. Now your channel is this line here. That's your quad walls, right? So when we do the algorithmic modeling, these are all in play. Trade gets there. Conventional charting charts it after the trade. We chart it before the trade. If you see a downside, so your support, your next support is sitting here at 1164.62 region, 1150. So call it 1150 to 1160 right there. You got a wall here. You got a support here, fib support 11.8, but your main support is 1103.02. So that's your trading range. 1103.02 is your downside. Your mid is 1210.60, where it's trading in that range. Your upside is 1320.01. So that's your risk reward. It just happens to be that they've got it right at the test area, and that doesn't surprise me considering it is Google and considering you know, machine trading and the amount of algorithmic liquidity in the markets now. So that's what's to watch for Google. I'm not in it right now. We were in it a while back in our last phase of inflection in the markets. Here's one of the big movers on the day, HCLP. I wanted to look at this real quick. High crush. The interesting thing about this chart, I'm watching it close as the monthly. It keeps getting right up to this pivot and then backing off, but it's not. The bulls aren't. So this has got the potential for a very serious upside. If you get momentum in here, your next resistance is going to be right in around here, 1705. Yeah, there's a pivot actually, 1675, 1650. So 1650 to 17, and then your previous highs in the 21 to 22 range, but its extension could be extreme. Like if you look at this last extension, you just do a simple Sesame Street on it. If you pull that over here, that's expecting a minimum move into the 25 region. That's a serious upside. And the thing about these moves in this structure is it could easily double its extension into here, into 40. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what the chart says. So I'm going to alarm it around 15. Take another look at it if it gets going, but I got a sneaking suspicion. And this particular structure, just from experience, you don't want to deny these if they get going. So on any given day, a close over 15, and I'll probably start trading it, and then on any given day, a close over 17, and that thing's probably gone. It does have the 50 MA on the monthly above, but it's a pretty serious chart. Don't ignore it. On the daily, of course, it's gapped up over its MAs. So you should see a pullback, and if price holds over the the 50 and the 20 MA, so the 50 is the purple, the 20 is the blue. So on its pullback, if price holds over, so if it loses, it gets over, and that 20 MA is breaching that 50 MA on the daily, and price is over, then that should be the start of your run. So what I'm going to do is alarm that alert, 20 breaching the 50. Okay, so be very careful with this play. Don't ignore it. It's one of those ones, I mean, I've warned about a number of them over the last few years, and a very high percentage of these turn out, not every one, but a very, very high percentage. This is setting up really bullish on the technicals. So I'll just get rid of these charts and then we'll go into the earnings charts. So there's oil. So the bulls are starting to step in. We'll see if it turns here on the intraday. I don't think it's ready yet to turn, but it might. Not easy trading oil today. While we're watching this chart, I'm just going to alarm it quick. My other monitor here. Just to make sure I stay on top of this. Okay. So as far as earnings charts are concerned, this is not going to be the quickest process, but I'll do my best to get through them here by 1:15. We've got 45 minutes. Now, these aren't in any specific order other than they're going to come out in the order of our swing trading reports. Sorry guys, it's going to take me half a minute just to bring up this report here on another monitor. Okay. So we're going to start with ARRY. So basically this is the next report in order of our weekly reports. that we cycle 5 through every 5 weeks. So ARRY is the first one. And I apologize one more time. These charts are not going to load fast. These are most of these are modeled charts. And with everything that's going through this office right now in terms of data, these things load fairly slow. Now, if you can't sit through this, and I don't expect you to, of course, for you. So ARRY is our first one. Trading 1647, down 3%, earnings in 18 days. MACD is up, Stoch RSI on its way down. So it's indecisive at this point. You got earnings in 18 days. These white arrows denote buy-sell triggers. It's halfway between the two buy-sell triggers. So the bottom of the quad and the mid-quad. And here's the top of the quad it's in. So it's trading in this structure. So when we talk about structured trading, this is its current trading quad. Come on now. No, it didn't quite get far enough up, but you get the idea that it's trading in. So when we talk about structured trading, this is what we're talking about. So when I say to people that message me and stuff, you need to learn how structured trading works. Once you learn how this structured trading works, then you know where you are. It's like trading with a light on. Most people are trading in the dark. They're using one technical indicator, whereas structured trading represents all the technical indicators because it's the structural indicators combined. Its fundamental base or root is in Fibonacci, but it's not just Fibonacci. And what it is a really quick way to get your playing field in front of you so you don't do stupid things based on one indicator. So the reason why the machines win more than we win is because the structured trades are the rules-based system for the machines. So right now, your support is down here in the range, quad is up here at 1840, and in between there, in this little triangle here, is your most immediate structure, but your bigger structure is in here. The point is, if it loses this quad wall here, it's in trouble, but it can bounce here, right, at the next quad, 1344. So if you were to set your targets, you would say, okay, I've got my price is trading there, so I'll just bring that there, because you just go to the next three targets, right? And then you just paint by numbers on the way up or down. So you bring this time frame, instead of it being a daily time frame, to another chart that's on the minute or 5 minute or 15 minute or 30 minute, start at the minute, work your way up. Figure out which way it's going, and then just trade in between these support and resistance. Now a lot of people say, well, there's too many lines. Well, it's not that many lines. Right here is 1726, that's a resistance. Your main resistance is 1842. I would like to know, if I'm trading, where my main resistance is in that 1840 range, right? The trader I'm competing against doesn't know, right? I can trim there if I get a good bounce. I think you get the idea. So as a teacher, this is the basis of there's all the other tools that I can teach you that I know, the tricks of the trade, but until you understand the structure, they're useless. And it's painful watching people go through the swings of trying to learn when they don't start with structure. I did it for years. It was painful for me to do it. It's painful for me to watch people. Our brains are programmed to see the shiny lights, the flashing lights in the casino and the fancy sounds, instead of looking at the structure first. I apologize, my allergies are killing me today. Just give me a sec. Okay, so that's ARRY. So what are we looking for? Over 1726 is a long, to 1840. Under 1554 is a short, to 1351, and so and so. Right now you're in between, right? So you gotta wait for it to drop below or above the next. And that's how easy it is. Super, super easy. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna alarm it right now. Alarm up here. I did a head fake up here. See that? So that's why you always, when it pops over, you want to give it a day and let it close above or below your support or resistance, or keep it tight, know what you're doing, set your stops, that kind of thing. But that that comes with expert trading or fine-tuned trading, and that's what I work with students on. Sorry, I'm having a hard time grabbing this silly alarm. Okay, let's back it out. Told you this was good. Okay, so the first one is there, the 1726 range. The second one, so that's over 1726, I'm long to 1840, and then examining from there. Under 1558, so I'm going around 1560. Now just because it gets under or over, it doesn't mean you take the trade. You gotta, there's a number of decisions from there, and these aren't the big buy-sell triggers. The big buy-sell triggers are these arrows. And you got to be really aware or trimming, what's going on. Now, a lot of people say, well, I can't manage my swings that long. Okay, so you can't manage your swings that long. So what do? You take the trend, right? It's an obvious uptrend. So you're only going to take a long. So where are you going to take your long? You're going to take your long at the main pivot that are marked here, right? Buy sells. So you would have taken your long as a swing trader right there at 1337. So there's a bit of a lesson here too, not just a review of the charts. But these are some of the things that I've been discussing with students, a lot of the questions and pain points that we've had lately. Okay, anyway, bottom line is there's a solution for all styles of trade, but first you need the structure. Once you got the structure, you understand how the structure of the instrument works, the natural trading structure, and we do all that work for you. Prepare it for you and serve it up. Once you have that and you know how to use it, then what you do is you fine-tune to get your entries, fine-tune it to get your entries and your exits, your trims and your legs in, and you also fine-tune to your own particular needs and style. And that's what I do in the trade coaching. So when people ask me how they should start with trade coaching, at least a small, 3 hours to learn how this works, the basics, and the swing trading. And then you adapt that to your specific style. Okay, so there's my little coaching session for you. Overview, not real coaching there, but overview. Okay, so that's ARRY. That was the first one. I apologize, we're going slow here. Let's get the next one. Next one is, it's like bingo. I used to play with my grandma when I was young. Well, I didn't really play. Anyway, ARWR. Wow, being a youngster in a small town growing up with grandma. ARWR. Sorry. This one's fun to trade. By the way, if I don't get through all of these by the end of Friday, I'll just continue into next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of thing. But I think we'll be fine. By the end of the week, the markets slow down a bit too, and the thing I've noticed is that many people don't want to slow down for the 3 hours that it takes to learn how to do it. because we're so programmed for instant gratification. And I'm not trying to beat up on anybody, I'm just trying to say that's the thing I've noticed. And if you look close, you know, at people that have good success rates, they understand structure. They may not understand it to the point that we do because we're extremely scientific about it, but they understand it. Now look at this. I've been talking about ARWR, I always call it ARWR, but AWR, blah, blah, ARWR. Anyway, Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals reports in 13 days it's getting up over its main resistance. And if this thing gets going, watch out. Where is it going? So if you learn how to do this, this is how fast you can do this. Watch this. So all I do is I clone the structure. I bring this up here. I clone this side of the structure. And I bring it up. Where to trade. It even gives you the time cycles. It gives you the dates for the targets. That's the crazy part. Now, this has hit target way early. That'll happen early or late. That tells you, you know, where you stand. There's all kinds of reasons why it helps. Just crazy helps. That's why when people are yakking online, you know, on social, and they say something about something, and like I want to say to them, like, good Lord, where did you get that from? You know, and then they always come back to me, like I have a ton of private conversations, and people always come back to me, how did you know that? Good golly, look at the structure. It's not voodoo. Just apply yourself. I'm sorry I'm beating up on people here, but take the 3 hours to learn. Put a little bit of investment into your future. Cost that much for somebody that knows what they're doing to show you this. It'll take an hour a week, and anyway, sorry, but it's frustrating. Okay, so you know, sideways, if it doesn't do much, 1645 in November 23rd, the 876. Your support ranges are in here. You see now you have all your support, all your resistance points up here. 2387 in November is a pretty healthy target. There's no reason this thing won't continue to trend. 2396 into next year is possible, but this is paint by numbers. It gets up over here, it holds for a day, go with it until you get to this. See this quad wall or this horizontal fib resistance? Boom, that's it. Where's it going to end up? It's probably going to end up right here, 1973 on August 15th. Will it for sure? No, but it's probably going to end up there, and then it'll trade in here. Unless, you know, there's an earnings blowout, and it'll end up here at 2380, and then it'll trade in here. But you see, it gets up here, and then its new structure is here. Here, I'll just draw it out for you real quick. I had so many discussions last night on private message with folks, and I'm going to encourage people to watch this video. There we go. You see? That'll be the structure. It's that simple, folks. Okay. Now, if it's resistance, here's the next structure I'll show you. People always think, you know, there's some kind of magic. There's no magic. So it gets up in here. There's your structure. Neat, eh? Pretty simple. You know the playing field. The lights turn on. It's like fighting with your competitors. You got the lights on and they don't. I just killed my, I removed the wrong lines there. Let me put it back. Sorry, you'll have to put up with my allergies here while I smoke. Okay, so there. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to alarm in here around 1719. I'm just going to commit doing this right, even if it takes longer, you know, even if 8 days instead of 5 days. I'm going to go through these. I'm going to alarm them all. I'm going to explain them as best as I can, as efficiently as I can. so that you you know how to trade them. 1432 or so. I'm going to set another alarm just because if I get a downside draft, and you adapt this to your individual style. 1432. Wow, am I looking forward to the free dive today. I'm going right after this is done. I'll post the video later tonight when I'm back from my free dive, but you're trading like I am, it sure helps. Okay, so that's it. Underneath, this is your structure. I'm sure you know it. Let me show you one more. So if it stays underneath that pivot, main buy sell trigger, they're not all marked, by the way. There's no, see, there's no arrow, white arrows there to tell you. But you just look at the mid quad. It's the same on all the charts. The colors may change a little bit, but you know, you can see the triangles. Anyway, so your structure right now is right here. This is your trading structure until it's up above. See how that works? Simple. No magic. The magic is later, you know, 5th generation models. This is a 1st generation model, a simple model. The 5th generation models that are black box, that's a different story. That's magic. But there's no need for magic to win. Epic is a 5th generation model. Epic is going from its 5th generation of conventional algorithmic modeling into its 1st generation of machine trading modeling. All those models start to roll out at the end of the month into mid-August. That's going to be a game changer. Between you and me and the fence post, if you're considering being on board with any of our models, you want to do it before then, because of course on the other side of that, with each advancement, we have to raise the prices just a little bit, and we never raise them on our existing members. There's my sales pitch for the day. ARWR. Okay, so we've got everything set there. We know. Let's find the next chart. The next chart in the report is, if you remember, you can follow along with the last report to know what I'm covering here. CDNA. Another one I've been following really close in recent times. Recent times, I mean the last 6 months. We had a fantastic trading. Really excited for that report to come out. We had so many different accounts, so many different things happening that with our workload, anyway, Jen has been working tirelessly on getting it out. This one's had some super returns. Look at it. So this is a weekly chart. There is no model for it, but there is a pivot. Now this pivot we identified looks like a little bit off. Mind you, these pivots are all in a range. Anyway, once it got up over that pivot we identified for members, it just took off and it hardly stopped. Now, this is one of those charts that can get extremely bullish. And remember at the beginning of this video, I had explained for the mover on today. What's the mover? I had explained. Is it LPNT or HCLP? Anyway, one of the two at the beginning of this video, the mover on today. Getting messages everywhere, sorry guys. Okay. Wow. I apologize. I got 8 monitors in here and I'm helping members and students and stuff. Okay, let's try and get this a little faster. So this is one of these bullish structures. Remember I said the one earlier today could go on a double extension? Look at this. Boom. Same structure, technically the same structure. So that one earlier today I reviewed on the video, it was trading here, right? One extension would bring it to here, 2 extensions there, boom. Drill this into your memory, this chart structure. It's a weekly chart. When you see this, starting line, dumps, gets up to its pivot. There's its pivot. Pulls back, boom, double extension. Happens all the time. Now, what's next? Well, your Stoch RSI on the weekly is starting to turn up, but your MACD is really high. It reports when? Earnings on it is? Interesting, it doesn't have it listed. May 28th, May 10th, June, July, August 10th. Okay, so we'll see how it does. But anyway, your Stoch RSI turns, great, but that MACD has to turn. So what am I going to do? It's iffy. You've got support right down in the tree. Your big opportunities missed. We reported it extensively, and I'm going to put an alarm in here just over that pivot. Doesn't mean I can't get going again, but man, what a missed opportunity for some folks that didn't catch it. So just over that pivot is where I'm going to set that alarm. We're going to watch earnings. Upside, am I really interested in it? No, but sure. Let's get an alarm. Alarm the upside around 1370. Very dangerous upside though. It's got to pull back. It's got to rest. Okay, so that's CDNA. What's next on the list? NAK, N-A-K. Okay, just a piece of junk. Not worth going through. If you have any questions on it, you're holding it or something, go ahead and send me a message. But NAK, we've been thinking about dumping it from our coverage. Next one on the list, XXII. Okay, so the trading structure on this one wasn't easy to develop, but we do have a generation 1 model on it. It hit this target perfect. There would have been a target here at the mid and the top, right? There's always three. You just trade by numbers. So this is the XXII weekly chart. Then, you know, it came off after hitting, so you'd have an arrow there, you'd have an arrow here. So I'm going to show you really quick the first one in these video series that we're going to be doing for earnings. So I just want to make sure that people understand. This is going to help you beyond imagination if you learn this trading structure. Whoa. Must have been important. Okay. See how it went up through here too? Boom. It hit all three targets. 1, 2, 3. This is the power of trading structure. Man, some days, not enough arms. See this? Mid quad, bottom of quad, top of quad. Diamonds. Call them diamonds. Doesn't matter. Look at this. Bounces off the buy-sell trigger here. Right through the buy-sell trigger there. Again along. Leg in over each resistance. Trim here. It continues going. leg over, leg over, leg over, comes off after, an epic squeeze at 622, dumps back down to 67. Now, if you have this structure sitting in front of you, you know exactly what to do at each one of these levels. You can't be beat in the market by anyone except for the machines if you know how to do this. You take the weekly structure first, you have the structure in front of you, now you've got the lights on. You know the playing field, you know the rules of the game. Really important. Then you bring it down one time frame at a time. You can even have the model on each time frame, and you learn how to trade through and adapt it to your style, whether you're a day trader, swing trader, or an investor. All the different kinds of traders can use it, should use it. It's the only way to do it, and I can't say enough about it. And I wish I could get the world to settle down and learn how profitable this would be for them. And I'm going to start to tell the stories of people that I've taught soon as I get a little bit of time, and publish a frickin' book on it, and then sail off into happiness soon with my machines. Okay, trading from a sailboat, me and my machines. What am I talking about? XXII. So what are we going to do? We have a main support here at 177. We have a main resistance here at 352. We're about halfway in between. We don't know when earnings are. For some reason, they're not showing up on this chart. It doesn't really matter to me anyway. So what am I going to do? I'm going to alarm this zone down in here, this $2 zone. Once it starts to get into my pivot, my main buy-sell. Now it's an area of trade. It's not exact. So I alarmed the downside a little bit high just to make sure that I catch it. I'm aware. The upside, let's go on the 340 range. This is what I teach students, by the way. Okay, so there's your, now what am I looking for? I'm looking for up, over, into the next. Am I alarming this one here? No. I mean, I could if I was day trading it, but I'm interested in big legs either way for the next session that's going to last 3 to 6 months. There's an inflection in the market right now. I'm telling you that it's happening right now, and we want to get positioned, and that's how we do it. Our positioning is for the next 3 to 6 months. Sure, we're in and out a lot, but it's a position, a legging in, a trimming, it's a process, right? But this is one of the best charts that you could possibly trade from a return perspective. Okay, that's XXII. I'm just going to take a quick one eyeball on oil. Oh yeah, oil's getting right in where it should be getting. So it's failing here. We're looking for a bit of a dump down into hopefully into 67.51 on FX US oil WTI, right around 330 today, and then leg in along for the targets on the week. We'll see. Okay, so that's XXII. Let's bring the next one up. These charts will go faster as we go. I'm just making coaching from me to make sure that they, use these charts, the structure of these instruments, so they at least have the step one trading principles and how to use these. Because you can have the answers in front of you and still blow yourself up if you don't know what you're doing with it, right? Shop. I mean, you can have the fastest car in the world, the best one for the track, but I've never raced. In a professional race, get in the car and blow yourself up, right? Hit the wall. SHOP. This is one of my nemesis from 3 years ago. I was long in it and I got frustrated with it and I got out of it and, oh, wow, it just hasn't stopped. It's testing previous highs, of course. Pretty easy to tell that. This is the daily chart, trading 173.21. We got a fantastic trade in it when it dumped back in here in March. That was beautiful. Got a double extension on it, and now it's right back up to its previous highs where the double extension stopped after the big dump. Where do you want to trade this? You want to trade it on a dump. But if you can't get the dump, you would trade it on this small dump where, you know, it would pass each of the MAs and it bounced off the 100 once it got over the 50. That's a great trade. Now, what are you looking for? You're looking for a breakout squeeze. What do you watch? Not the easiest trade. Not the easiest trade. Stoch RSI is really high. Earnings in 8 days. Stoch RSI, man, that's high. Not that it can't stay high. Could it go another extension? Sure. You know, what's next? Here's your previous, you know, it's about 30 bucks. Could it get close to 200 bucks if, you know, a squeeze happens post earnings? Sure. Can I do much here for you? No. It's not the kind of drill. I used to take these all the time, right? It gets over the previous high, I run with that extension. But it's too much stress and I don't need, you know, I don't need it. I like to win regularly. If you're going to go long over previous highs, that's what you're going to look for. Look for a close over 175.29, a close over 175.29, and then run with it. 8 days to earnings. I'd prefer you don't hold through earnings, but that's what you want to go for. What am I going to look for? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for a dump because I'm a patient trader now. When you learn the patience of trading structure, you become a trader. Very little stress. Great returns. Look at the report that's coming out that Jen's compiling. She's promised it by the weekend at very latest. We have admittedly promised it over the last few weeks, but you know, we're special. Okay, shop. Sorry, I can't give you much more than that. I mean, it's a breakout scenario, and learn how to trade breakouts or get some coaching. Now, specific to the coaching, I'm not selling coaching from a sales stuff. I provide coaching because I just feel like I have to. I'm a terrible coach, but I can equip you through coaching with some skills that you just won't get anywhere else in the retail market. But you know, I'm not the most likable or easy guy to get along with. What am I trying to say? Let's go. That's what I'm trying to say. Stay on focus. It's 1:04. You got to be out of here in 10 minutes. C-SPAN, SSW. Man, have we killed this one over and over. And this chart structure is traded by the machines. What a beautiful, 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 beautiful structure to trade. Up and down. Fantastic. The S&P is green, by the way, on the day right now. This structure has just been unreal. And, you know, I wouldn't expect it in SSW, but it's there. And I think it's because, you know, a lot of the younger people are coding these machines, and they like this. Good returns. Look at how it hits these targets. Unbelievable. For what it is, right? Anyway, there's a bunch of different color arrows in here. Don't get confused. Your buy sell are 516. You see that one there? Then you just go up to your mid quad. 851. Go to your next one. 1194. Now, keep in mind, we can bring these work all the way down, you know, into different time frames. This is a weekly chart, so these are big structures. But that's its last bullish run. It didn't get up to the target. That's a serious sign for a turn down. And look at what's happened. It's turned down. But we ran all the way through here. Look at that. Right from this target to this target. Beauty. Right? Just beauty. Now, it didn't get up to its bullish target. That's a sign to turn the other way. I mean, that's a huge short opportunity. I've already got it alarmed here. I've already got it alarmed here. I'm gonna watch. I'll leave those alarms where they are. Earnings are in 15 days. We'll see what happens at earnings. If it gets bullish, your resistance is 931. Your next resistance is right here, 1026. Is this possible? It's very likely. 1026 on August 13th. Cuts through there. You know, the mid quad, 11 September 21st. It gets up into here. Oh, there's more in there. Pardon me. Okay, so I'm gonna set one more alarm just so I know what's going on here when earnings happens. 9:33. Doesn't look like I'm gonna get through the first 20 today. Tomorrow I'm gonna have to pick up the speed. But like I said, I got to give you the tools just in case you don't know how these structured trades work. Once you learn how to do this, every single person I've taught has come back to me and said, I will never forget this. I will use it forever. I can't trade without these structures. And I can't either. Like, I don't trade without these. There's all kinds of tools I use other than this, but this is your rooting, grounding, structured trading. Okay, SSW. You get the idea. Oh, your support underneath here, if it loses that pivot, is 774. Your 200 MA is trading somewhere around 740 now. It's trading at 740. Okay, we're going to do at least one more. What's next on the report list? ITCI. This was just a smoking trade. Wow, did we nail this one? If you look at the history on this, we were the only people talking about it. Just whacked it. People were talking about it after the fact. Well, what structured trading does, when you know the sweet spot of these structures, you can just be all over before it gets crowded. And then when everybody's jumping in, and the lights are blinking, and everything's flashing in the casino, and everybody's happy, you're already moving out because you know where the cliff is. Hey, Crystal, nice to see you back. Back from Germany. Okay. Cellular therapies. This was just a gorgeous trade. I'll show you. See how it rode this? See, here's the structure here. See how it pinched in here? Hit the target, got Momo, came back down, back tested the mid quad, boom, we were in. All the way through, legging in and out at all the tests, right up into the next target. Gorgeous. Then it came off. Perfect. Now when it dumps, see it went right into the mid quad here, and then it dumped a little further. That's normal, right? So we know that the overshoot up and down happens. See the overshoot up, the overshoot down. Then it got going, boom, pinching in its structure, following its structure, up over a quad, boom, right back, right near the target. Didn't hit the target. What did I say about that for the dump? Boom. Short dump, right at the quad wall, right back up. Now, it's not as strong as it has been. We aren't in it now. Man, did we do well in it. I don't have the reporting date. but by 24th, 25th is time cycle peak in that quad. The peak is, this largest trading area. So watch for a serious pop or drop. Your upside resistance, serious upside resistance, 2460. Your downside support, 1973. Trading 2130. There's a bunch of support and resistance in between you see on the chart. There's conventional as getting into a generation 2 model. Right now it's targeting 2467 for September 25th. Very likely hits it early though. This will be an interesting earnings. So I'm interested over about 2220. I'm going to watch it. Love this one. We have not lost in this one. So structured. 1960-ish is interesting on the downside. If you were following us the first 6 months of the year, you'll know we called these trades January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, first 6 months. And then we've rested a bit here as the inflection is happening, and we're going to just clobber the next round. All time-stamped, all recorded, all verifiable, all live alerted for our members. So you should see a pop here anytime. This will probably continue, but I want to see how it does over its next. Well, this is tough. It's a pretty good setup. This is starting to get pretty bullish. Not sure what to say, so I'm just going to leave it for now. I really like it though. A time cycle, I'll trade the other side of the time cycle as well. End up, unless it alerts me. Just going to bring this up just a tad so I know early. Love it. Always did, always will. Absolutely love that chart. That's ITCI. Next one. SENS. This will be the last one for the day. Tomorrow I'll pick up the speed. If you have any charts you want me to look at, drop them in the notes right away in the chat. I'll look at them quick before I fly. This model is very complicated to lock in. Okay. So, this is a funky chart. Bottom line is MACD starting to cross up. This is on the 240, by the way. So this is a tighter market. The chart's hard to see. Squeeze momentum's trending up. Stoch RSI is trending up. So the buys are coming in. Price hasn't moved that much. Bounced off the 100 MA. It's in this lower structure right now. But it hit the quad wall perfect and bounced off. That's at 409 on its high of the day. So, now look, when it gets going, what it does, just right through all the buy sell triggers, boom. It's done it a number of times. So don't ignore this one. With that 200 MA coming up, This one's setting up really nice. So here's what I'm interested in over 428. Over 428 or that quad wall, man, this thing could just get rocking with some serious returns because it has an extension possible in this range here. 547 and even into one more. 582 and fast. So it's a messy chart. It needs to be updated, but those are your numbers. So what I'm going to do is alarm. $430 to the upside. On the downside, 385 or so. So I'm on it if it dumps. That's SENS. So that's it for the day. I'll pick up the speed tomorrow and cover a lot more of them. It looks like based on the speed that these are moving at, it'll probably take me 8 days. So this week, 5 days, next week, 3 days. So by next Wednesday, I'll have them all covered. But we'll work them one step at a time so we understand what's going on. I'll include some of the charts with the report tonight and all the members then. Have a great day, guys. I'm going to go for a dive. Take care.